pregame show breaking down point spreads and games. And if anybody ever wonders why I pause a while after it goes out, for some reason my mic's muted for like 6 seconds and I look like a fucking moron. So I just wanted to explain why I look like a fucking moron.
Is every single time your mic just seems to cut just for that 6 seconds, it just goes.
It mutes
not doing
when
anything.
the intro's playing, but it takes a while for it to unmute when it's done. It's a weird thing. I almost introduced the wrong show.
Yeah, hey everybody, welcome to our classic. Jay's just got so many shows on the go right now with the Yankee and the Brit. And everybody, big news. This is our first show since we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, I filled out all the shit for YouTube last night. Now, they said it could take a couple weeks, but we are monetized, my friend. We are monetized.
We are monetized on YouTube. It's only taken 2.5 years, but we are monetized on YouTube. And apparently the first 500 is the hardest.
I was actually reading, though, they give you analytics compared to other shows like on YouTube, and we're way ahead of the curve on how fast people get there, which is crazy to me.
Look at us go. Look at us go. We probably have the most viewers of any American football show in Thailand due to the fact that I watch our shows back every now and again to make sure that my audio is all okay a lot of the time. And I watch it back for takes when I forget halfway through Sunday.
Look at us. Our viewership on the analytics in the UK has been rising.
Good. That is good to hear. That is good. Hey, sorry that we're talking analytics and everything, guys. We just like to be open with you, and we just like to thank you very, very much for.
We're picking point spreads. The whole fucking thing is analytics, bro.
Well, yeah. I mean, our personal analytics.
Nobody tunes in for the first fucking 3 minutes, 4 minutes anyway, so we're pretty much just talking to ourselves.
Let's do a point spread next week. Let's organize a point spread on when the next 500, when we'll reach 1,000, or when we'll reach 750, and then when we'll reach 1,000.
Oh, somebody just got knocked the fuck out for Tennessee. He's getting up, but I can't see who it is.
Yeah.
Moore just took a nasty hit. I got to say something, though. I'm watching these games, and it happened in the Vikings game. I think one happened in your game when you guys got slaughtered, too. And I just watched it here. I'm really sick of them throwing pass interference flags that are obvious pass interference and then picking them up.
It's like they've said, it's like they've been told to let the guys play, and only half of the refs are letting them play, and then the other half are going off the old rules.
So,
yeah.
I don't know, but they did it just now, and I put a reel up. I didn't make the reel, but I shared a reel with somebody who broke down that Vikings play from the Chiefs game. And then I put up the poll, is the NFL rigged? And we had like 2,000 people respond to that, and 85% of the people think the NFL is rigged.
I'm glad that that's our type of viewership that we have over on Instagram. Our conspiracy theorists.
I didn't even fucking think about it that way. I didn't even fucking think about it that way, to be honest. Like, I just think so much crazy shit happens that people who are casual fans are really starting to believe this, and I think that's bad for the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, when you watch it enough, you know it's not rigged, or you should know that it's not rigged. I think it's just fun. So I love listening to people and their conspiracies. Now, obviously, there are some teams that are favored, and especially some quarterbacks who are favored in the NFL. And are the referees likely, and are they more likely to get the bounce of the ball? Yes, but that's the same in any sport.
Well, before we get into our picks, I got to announce 52, 25, and 2. That's all I got to say.
That is pretty impressive, man. That is pretty well done.
As bad as I'm struggling in fantasy right now, I'll take anything.
Yeah, I need to. I'll correlate mine, and I'll collect mine, and we'll see where we're at.
So, anybody who didn't, I think I just randomly was talking about a game that's in play. If people don't know, Baltimore and Tennessee are playing, and Derrick Henry just got me another
Yeah.
6 points in fantasy just this second. So
Lovely.
let's go.
Lovely. In our league
Yeah.
or in a different league?
Well, I got him in 2 leagues, but our league. I'm in 3 leagues, but
Nice.
it's funny.
Nice.
2 of them are paid league. One of them's a free league, and I give a shit more about our free league than I do the paid league.
I care way too much about our league. It's about saving face because our names are on it. I'm like, we have to at least make the playoffs. Like
And
one of us has to be in the playoffs every time.
We've been doing this league for 3 years, and we have a group chat, so we've all got to know each other, and like, so it's a lot more fun too.
If I lose to the Canadian this week, I don't think I can do a show for another 2 weeks. By the way,
I kind of hope you do, just because it'd be funny. Not to be a dick, but just because it'd be funny.
I've been giving him so much shit for like the past 2 weeks. I don't think I can show my face if I lose to him this week.
Well, this is my first week with my trade players from the Canadian, so hopefully I win.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Don't hate greatness.
That would have been cause for like that trade genuinely looked like it was giving up the game, you know.
The only thing I can say in his defense is he has 0 running backs, and I did send him some running backs.
Yeah. I offered a way better trade than that for Nuka. And then like a week later, he gives away 3 guys so he can get DeAndre Hopkins, and one of them is Packer Nakua.
Yeah, and I have DeAndre Hopkins in one of my other leagues, and he's going to be very disappointed this year and with the numbers that Hopkins. See, the problem is he's trading for names.
Well, he trades on a week-to-week because he trades on a week-to-week basis. He like this is what you shouldn't do in fantasy, by the way, everybody. Just as an announcement to all of our community.
A public service announcement from Maddie.
Public service announcement for if you're in a fantasy league, especially if it's paid, don't trade week to week. Only trade like every 2-3 weeks, unless a deal comes up that you really can't go without. Because otherwise, you go off players you move off too quickly off players who you've been doing your whole analysis before the draft on. You move too quickly off them, and then when you're in season, you know, like I would have moved off Field. Now he's averaging 16 points a game.
Right, and here's a good reason why you're right. So I think Payne Gusto is undefeated in our league right now, and he's been hiding Jonathan Taylor on the bench since the draft.
I tried to rob Jonathan Taylor from him 2 weeks ago, and he obviously said no, as he should. Right thing to do.
All right, so let's hit some of these point spreads coming up. All right. Oh, it went down since. Okay, so I just checked this point spread yesterday morning. The 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. It's the Niners are 9.5 favorites on the road. They were 10.5 favorites yesterday, so it did go down a point. Deshaun Watson not playing.
Yeah, at the start of the week or midweek, they were 7-point favorites.
Okay, and yesterday,
felt a little low.
Yesterday, one of my friends asked me for a lock to bet on. So I went through the point spreads, and I saw the 49ers point spread was 10.5 yesterday. No, that was not the lock I picked. If you guys want to know, I told him take Cincinnati -3 at home over Seattle. That was my lock.
Well, really? Okay. We'll get to that game. This game, I think there are some really interesting matchups. I think if Deshaun Watson was there, it would be like quite an interesting game. I don't think it would change too much for me. I've been very vocal on the podcast saying Deshaun Watson just isn't it, and he looks washed.
What do you mean he's getting 235 fully guaranteed?
Oh no, he's it in terms of the big man money deal,
right?
You know. So like, people were comparing his situation right now to Baker Mayfield and saying like, oh, you said that Baker Mayfield shouldn't play. You said Baker Mayfield shouldn't play. And it's like, yeah, Baker didn't have $235 million guaranteed already. If Deshaun Watson tears his shoulder off.
Sorry, go ahead.
If Deshaun Watson tears his shoulder off tomorrow, he's still owed $235 million. So it's not comparable. It is not a comparison whatsoever. Deshaun Watson has been paid and therefore has been cleared by medical staff and should be playing.
I disagree. Because he hasn't looked great. Personally, if I'm him, I'm 100% healthy before I come out, before they Baker Mayfield me.
That's true.
But
they
I
can't
get
really
what you're
Baker
saying
Mayfield
because
him.
his future's secured. But I'm talking in the optics because he went from the brightest young quarterback in the NFL to the crazy, horrible off the field shit to now not looking good. If anything can save face, he's got to play well. So that's where I agree. But I agree with what you're saying money wise. But if I'm him, I'm like, I can't look bad or my career's over after this contract.
I think this makes him look bad though, because unless it's the team that are keeping him out,
they
I don't
dumped
think it
that.
is.
No, they dumped that
Because they
shit on
wouldn't
his
medically
lap
clear
last
him.
week. They're like, we thought he was going to play.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So this looks bad on him anyway for not playing and stepping out. I think there's something going on a little bit there. If he was playing, it would be more interesting. But I don't see the Browns scoring points against this 49ers defense. But I do think they can cause chaos against the 49ers offense. I do think that that's a possibility. I make sure that Myles Garrett isn't playing against Trent Williams. Micah Parsons played far too many downs against Trent Williams last week, so I make sure that Myles Garrett and other pass rusher for them, Zadarius Robertson.
I don't really want to switch games, but I have to mention, did you see the clip of Trent Williams taking a fucking Dallas defender and using him to battering ram Micah Parsons off the play? Like he used another player to batter. That dude, Trent Williams, is a monster.
You need to keep your best rusher away from Trent Williams at all costs, So sacrifice somebody to Trent Williams. Kneel on the ground, give your sacrifice to the monster that is Trent Williams, and just understand that nothing is going that way, and keep a linebacker in case they run the ball that way, and then just pass rush from the other side, which isn't weak either, but that's what you've got to do. The middle, the right side, but you do not rush the left tackle Trent Williams because it'll just make you look ridiculous.
Do you remember?
So I think they can have something, but
do you remember a couple years ago when he was getting traded and going on, and everybody's like, "Well, he's old. I don't know if he can still play. He's this, he's that." This dude is a fucking monster, bro. A monster.
Yeah, Sam Howell might have had an actual chance if the Commanders had Trent Williams. That's the kind of guy. That's the kind of guy he is. Yeah, but all that being said, and all the chaos that they can probably cause, give me the 49ers in this game. You'd be silly to bet against them, especially with Deshaun Watson not playing. PJ Walker did show some signs of life as a fun quarterback, but not necessarily a winning quarterback. Not a terrible choice for a fantasy team next week, not this week.
I wonder why they decided PJ Walker over DTR.
DTR just looks so bad, and you don't want to take your new shiny draft player and put him up against the 49ers. Who did he have to go out against his first game?
Oh, I don't even remember who they played.
Yeah, memory's getting just worse. Where is it?
Yeah, I got an excuse. I'm old. What's your excuse?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I need some Galinko, Lagoba, or whatever, that fucking memory route.
Right.
But I'm taking the Niners.
The Ravens.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners too.
Yeah. If you put DTR out there, he would have faced the Ravens defense and then the 49ers defense in his first two games when he hasn't had the reps because Deshaun Watson was meant to be playing. So not exactly a fair start for your rookie quarterback.
Yeah. So, well, since we both are on the 49ers over the Browns at home, we'll move on to the Carolina Panthers versus Maddie's sweetheart team, the Miami Dolphins. I like the Dolphins too, but Maddie's been riding their train a little longer than me, so I don't want to act like I was the fucking Nostradamus on this one. I've defended Tua. You've defended Tua. There went my camera again for some odd reason, doing some weird shit. I'm not sure if everybody's still hating on Tua, but I don't know how you do after this season. I do hate the 14.5 though as the point spread.
That's a lot. That's a lot because the Panthers, although they have been losing, haven't looked bad in losses. Like their defense has shown their offense has shown signs of life. Bryce Young, Adam Thielen looks like a nice connection that they've got there. 14.5 is a lot, especially with an offense like Miami runs. And Achan is injured as well, so it's down to Raheem Mostert, which I mean, not a terrible replacement. But I saw there's a guy that I really like who does reels and TikToks and shorts and that kind of thing, who was like, "Oh, the NFL are going to be investigating Raheem Mostert because." Isn't the 41-year-old isn't it a bit suspicious that the 41-year-old with injury problems is the one that's healthy, and the guy that came in and took his job is the one with the knee problem, which is quite funny. But yeah, Achan's not playing, so 14.5. Do you know what? I can't bet on a 14.5. I'm going to have to take the Panthers in that one. Dolphins to win, obviously.
Give me the Dolphins in the minus 14.5.
What's the over under?
47.5.
I'm 14.5. Well, I'll take the under then I'll take the under on that if I'm keeping within 14.5.
I'm taking the over. I'll take the under even though I'm taking them with the 14.5 because I don't think the Panthers score more than 10 points if they're lucky.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I've got the Dolphins defense in my fantasy team this week. So yeah.
Oh, I just hate those big point spreads. 14.5 is a lot, and garbage time points can kill a point spread like that. If you're up by 17 and you let them score a shit touchdown with 2 minutes left in the game, it kills the point spread.
Yeah, once a team goes into prevent, that means there's points going to be scored or at least yards, but they're just slowly, which kills a point spread. Doesn't kill a game, just a point spread.
Right. All right. Well, on to my lock of the week where Maddie had some cross-eyed looks about that. Cincinnati at home, favored by 3 against the Seahawks. Joe Burrow looked like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's back. His calf looks good. Those guys are clicking. We're going to see the Bengals, in my opinion, the Bengals that we thought we'd see all year. So I'm taking Cincinnati in the lock at -3.
I just don't know what the Seahawks have done, what more the Seahawks can do to make them not a lock there. Like, I don't hate the pick or anything. It's just like, surely the Seahawks have shown that they're good enough. They've been better than the Bengals so far this season.
Do you think they're a better team than the Bengals, or was Joe Burrow just playing bad?
Well, we have one game of Joe. We have one game of Joe Burrow playing well.
Yeah, which he's back. His calf looks better. Joe's back. He's locked in. That's what I've been waiting for, is to see the Joe we saw last week, and I think it holds.
In training, he looks really good as well. But T. Higgins is banged up. The Bengals don't really have much of a run game. They've just got to, like, obviously this is easier said than done, but they've got to stop Jamar Chase, which is horrible. Like, you can't just stop Jamar Chase. But the offense has looked efficient. They've been winning despite loads of injuries on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive line, and now they're healthy. I don't know what more the Seahawks have to do there. And with that being said, I'm going to take them in this game to beat the Bengals. Yeah, I think their cornerback room
to the money line.
The points on this one. I learned not to take the money line after the Texans last week.
Well, all right, to the game that if the Vikings fucking lose, I'll quit watching football. I fucking swear. I like the Vikings at the Bears. Vikings are favored by 3 in that shitty field of Soldier Field that the grass is like 18 inches long and the grass is just awful.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor defense. for the Bears is if Justin Jefferson was there, I'd feel really, really good about this game for the Vikings. And I still feel good about this game for the Vikings. It's just that there's a little when KJ Osborne is your second wide receiver, there is a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think Brandon Powell showed his ass last week, though, and I think
Yeah,
people are
that's
going
true.
to learn his name very quick with Justin Jefferson being out.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And obviously, Kirk has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league so far.
Don't tell Vikings
Really,
fans that. Holy fuck. They were
yeah.
so mad when he came out this week and said he's not going to waive his no trade clause. Holy fuck, they lost their mind.
This game is hold on to the fucking ball, please. That's what this game is. Like, as long as the Vikings don't throw this game away, they'll win it because they should win it.
They're
However,
gonna play a lot in 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends. Watch, they're gonna have
yeah,
Oliver and TJ Hawkinson out there a lot against this Bears team.
yeah,
2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and they're gonna start flexing their tight ends out like wide receivers, but it'll help their run game and it'll open up Addison, KJ, and Powell in the passing game. I'm with you. If they don't turn the ball over and don't let Justin Fields do some wildly crazy athletic shit, they should win this game.
yeah. That's the crux of it, isn't it? Just keep the you've got to keep the you've got to keep maintain in the pocket. You can't let him run. You've got to make him throw on you. And like Justin Fields has looked better throwing the ball, obviously throwing to open players. PFF have got this new stat that I really enjoy, and it basically shows decent offensive coordinators. And it's yards off of a first look. So where the QB looks on their first read, if they throw the ball to their first read, how many yards do they get on that first read? And Justin Fields is like 4th in that stat, which is crazy. That was a crazy stat. So it means that in the past 2-3 games, the Bears have been getting open. Bears have finally got some wide receivers open. Obviously, his first look is always to DJ Moore, who is an excellent wide receiver as well. So that's always going to help. So Justin Fields has looked better. Has he looked better enough to... But Kirk Cousins has looked amazing all year. So, yeah, Vikings in this one. What was the spread?
Vikings -3.
Yeah, Vikings. And that the defense still doesn't get any pressure. That's the main issue for the Bears.
Yeah, and everybody was shitting on the Vikings signing Davenport in the offseason because he only had 1 or a half a sack last year, but he led the league in pressures, which nobody seems to comprehend that pressures sometimes are as good as a sack. This year, he's been getting to the quarterback. Him and Daniil Hunter have been looking good the last few games playing together. I think if they can keep the edge, they wreak havoc on that pocket for Justin Fields and make it rough on him. Also, here's where we're going to find out. Can Justin Fields read a defense because the Minnesota Vikings don't show anything till after the snap?
And I think we know that this is... I think we know that they can't. I think we know that that's a massive weakness of Justin Fields, right? I think like that is something that we know. Like actually reading a defense, massive problem. Also, pressures is a much better way to analyze defense rather than sacks. Like there are so many things that can happen to stop you from getting a sack when you've already blown up the play by getting a pressure. It's a much better way of looking at it. I mean, the Bears got 5 sacks against the Commanders last week. They'll have to get that sort of pressure this week to stand a chance in this game, and I don't see it because this Vikings offensive line, although sometimes shaky, is solid.
They're rated, I think it was 15th in PFF right now, which is middle of the road compared to what they were last year. It's a huge improvement.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks ago, they were rated number 1 in pass blocking, which is crazy.
Kirk Cousins is the 10th highest quarterback in QBR so far this season, and he's the 3rd in yards, and he is the His completions are down though.
Yeah,
17th in completion percentage.
that's because since O'Connell got there, he's got him taking more risks, which I like. Just like throw it, give those guys a chance. Kirk never used to be the give the guy a chance guy, and now he is. I like it.
He is.
All those drops doesn't help him either.
That's what I was just about to say. And like they really don't help him in terms of they really don't help him in terms of QBR and things like that either. Like his QBR could be higher than that. It's the amount of yardage is very impressive. Jordan Addison is going to play a big role in this game.
And Brandon Powell is fucking fast, bro. Like I seen him in preseason, but watching him last week, I was like, holy shit, is this kid fast?
Yeah. Where do you go if you lose this game as the Vikings?
The CFL?
Do you think about trading? Do you trade Daniil Hunter for hopefully a first round pick?
I wouldn't give him up for less than a first. And it depends do you plan on, are you working with his agent? Do you plan on keeping him after this year? Is a huge question. Nobody knows because Kawasi keeps things very tight lipped. You never know what the Vikings are thinking or trying to do. So if you don't plan on keeping him and the season you're down, like you lose 2 more games maybe, and you get an offer at the trade deadline, then maybe you do it. But if you're planning on keeping him, then you don't even entertain the offer. You just suck up this year as this shit went sideways and move forward, you know? So it just depends on where he is in their future plans.
Okay.
All right. Well, we got Gardner Minshew and the Colts traveling to Jacksonville. The Jags are 4-point favorites at home, which is kind of weird because they're saying on a neutral field that they're only favored by 1.
Yeah. The Colts are a strange team. These are 2 of the stranger teams in the NFL right now. Are the Colts better with their backup quarterback than they are with their starting quarterback who's out injured? Possibly
Probably.
right now. Yeah, probably right now in terms of like actual functioning offense. Their 2 wins have come when Gardner Minshew is the quarterback. So actual functioning offense that wins games, it's Gardner Minshew. Long term, you want Anthony Richardson in there, but especially now that they have Jonathan Taylor, Gardner Minshew is an excellent replacement. So I don't think they lose too much with Gardner Minshew. The Jags haven't looked like the Jags that we were expecting them to look like. They had a bit of a get right game in London last week. They haven't looked incredible, but I wonder if that's just high expectations for them. They beat the Bills last week, who everybody was saying were the best team in the AFC after they beat the Dolphins. So, yeah.
Well, if you watch this show, not everybody was saying the Bills are the best team in the AFC, but the league, yes, I get what.
Yes.
Nobody's giving the Dolphins any credit whatsoever.
Yeah, because they lost against the Bills, so that means they are worse than the Bills, and it's like, oh right, okay. So the Cowboys are worse than the Cardinals then.
Sports math never adds up.
Yeah. We can't just decide things on if you beat the best team. So the Detroit Lions are Super Bowl champions because they won on Thursday, first game of the season.
Everybody forgets that everybody in this league gets paid.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They act like it's like they're not the best athletes in the fucking world at this sport playing right now and on every team.
So it's like any team, and because of the way that the teams are built, because of the way the league works, is any team can have their day because of things like that. So yeah, the Dolphins don't get a lot of love, and the Bills get far too much as well. Josh Allen is, I think he's 3rd in the league in interceptions. Basically cost them 2 games his interceptions, but yeah, he's the MVP. Yeah, I think the Jags did have a get right game. I think they have way more talent on the field than the Colts. So give me the Jags in this one.
I'm with you. Give me the Jags in this one. Also, we're about to have Malik Willis sighting. Tannehill just went to the locker room. So Malik Willis looks like he's coming out on this drive for Tennessee, down by 8 in the fourth quarter. Well, you want to prove you can play. This is your time, kid.
Yeah. I am fascinated by Malik Willis. He's a fascinating person because everybody in this draft, everyone was saying Anthony Richardson, who is a Malik Willis complex, same kind of dude, right? And they were like, Anthony Richardson's fucking amazing. So and I'm not sure how much either of them prove that they are amazing.
Well,
so
Anthony Richardson's way more of a freak of an athlete.
Yeah. So yes. So the thing that Malik Willis is meant to be good at, he also hasn't looked good at so far. So that's it. I find him a fascinating prospect because if you can't beat out Ryan Tannehill, not that Ryan Tannehill's bad, it's just like the fans wouldn't be mad if Ryan Tannehill wasn't their quarterback anymore. You know what I mean? So you don't have like fans working against you in this respect. And the fact that you can't beat Ryan Tannehill out is not a good look.
All right. Well, let's talk some Washington Commanders at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are favored by 1.5 at home.
That's mad to me because to me, the Falcons have had a better season than the Commanders. To me, player for player, the Falcons are better than the Commanders. What do you think on that?
I still don't know what to think of the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Sam Howell over Desmond Ridder. I think that's about it.
I mean, their receiving core isn't that much better.
I'm not saying it's that much better. I'm just saying, like, player for player. Okay, Scary Terry is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. So, okay, I'll take Scary Terry and I'll take the quarterback.
Their receiving core.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd take Scary Terry and I'd take the quarterback. Desmond Ridder is also undefeated at home. So,
and the Commanders' defense is tough.
The Commanders' defense is good on paper. The Falcons' defense is actually better. Like the Falcons' defense is for real. Their secondary is for real.
Give me the Commanders plus 1.5. You talked me into it.
I'm so glad that I managed to talk you into that. Yeah, for me, give me the Falcons on this one. The Commanders have shown no sign of life, and the Falcons have like a weapon. And Desmond Ridder is undefeated at home in college and the NFL. So, yeah, give me the Falcons 1.5. The Falcons are a better team than the Commanders, in my opinion. So the fact that they'd be a 2-point dog on a neutral field blows my mind.
Yeah, I'll take the Commanders. They're going to win this game. It's going to be defense, running the ball, keeping Atlanta in check.
Right, hang on. Where do total points per game? So 20 points per game. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, sorry.
No.
I'm trying to back up my defensive point. I'm trying to back up my defensive point. I didn't have the stats ready. Okay. Will it prove my point? No. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad that I paused the show for that. The Commanders are above the Falcons in terms of total defense, so wonderful. But just player for player, the Falcons are better than the Commanders on the defense.
I think Desmond Ridder is going to be running for his life with that line.
I think the Commanders line is just as bad. They gave up 5 sacks against the Bears, who only had 1.
No, I mean with the Commanders' defensive line.
Yeah, the Commanders' defensive line. So both quarterbacks. Howell will also be running for his life.
He'll have a game close to like 280 in passing yards. couple tutties.
Howell is, yeah. Howell, I like Sam Howell. He's basically Terry McLaurin. He is basically who Taylor Heineke, who they had already, but yeah, he's basically Taylor Heineke.
All right. Well, Maddie, on to another one of your darling teams for the year. It's the New Orleans Saints at the Houston Texans. The Saints are 2.5-point favorites on the road.
I'm guessing the Texans are my darling team there. Okay, cool. I'm unaware of who my darling teams are sometimes. I don't realize like
You're a
how
big
much I
fan
fall
of the
in love with
Texans this
teams
year.
until
You've
you
been
point them out.
you've been beating the Texans bandwagon or the Texans drum.
I like that. I like the steps that they've taken this year. Yeah, you're definitely right. CJ Stroud has also looked really good. CJ Stroud is their offensive coordinator for the Texans, Bobby something, is doing a
Mike
really great
Shanahan
job.
Jr. Mike Shanahan Jr.
Yeah, Mike Shanahan Jr. Yeah, is doing a great job, and I think CJ Stroud in that PFF thing of first read yardage, I think he's second in that stat as well. I think CJ Stroud went to the perfect situation for him. He's protected really well in the line. His wide receiver core is really good, although Tank Dell is out this week. And they have a solid run game. I would like to see Dameon Pierce make more yardage. I know you definitely would like to see Dameon Pierce make more yardage because of your fantasy stuff. And Nico Collins looks great. So I think CJ Stroud is in a really good position. All that being said, the Saints defense is for real. Like the Saints have an excellent defense. So I'm not sure who to take on this one. So I want to hear you speak on the game before I make my decision.
I trust CJ Stroud more than Derek Carr. I trust DeMeco Ryans more than I trust why is his name slipping me right fucking now? The Saints coach, Dennis Allen. Give me the Texans plus 2.5.
The Texans plus 2.5. Oh, okay. Yeah, I trust CJ Stroud, especially in the red zone. The red zone way more than I do Derek Carr. Give me the Texans at 2.5.
So I'm laughing about the comment I made about the red zone in the fucking group chat that I cannot say on the show. So that's I'm just okay. Sorry,
Am I going to do it again? Should I take the Texans with the money line? No, can't do it to myself again. Can't do it this time. No.
So you're taking the Texans?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm taking the Texans, yeah.
All right. We're both with the Texans plus 2.5. So moving on to the New England Patriots at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 3-point favorites at home against the Patriots. Give me the Patriots just because I believe Belichick is going to outcoach Josh McDaniels.
What's the over-under on this game? Is this a game that anybody's going to want to watch?
No, it's 41.5.
41.5. Give me the under. Like, slam the under. Do you know what? That might be my lock bet of the week. That is under 41.5. I thought it was going to be 39.
And Malcolm Cunningham moved up to the active roster for the Patriots. I told you guys Belichick loves this kid. Maybe we'll see some of him in there. He's super athletic. He's a developmental quarterback, but I liked what I saw of him on the preseason. They're not in love with Mac Jones, so maybe we see some packages for this kid. I like the Patriots in this game, plus 3.
Yeah, Jimmy G has thrown the most interceptions in the league so far this season at 7 and hasn't connected with this offense at all. And Josh McDaniels has had a few really bad coaching moments so far this season. A Belichick offense, a Belichick defense that's still strong, Give me the Patriots in this one. 9 points to 6. Joking. Like a 20 point to 10 game
Maddie's
or
like
something like
it's
that.
going to be an 8-5 game.
An 8-5. Yeah, give me a safety in there as well. Just to really ramp it in.
All right. Well, moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the New York Jets. The Eagles are favored by 7.
Does that say more about the Jets improving, or does it say the Eagles haven't been playing well?
Maybe a little bit of both.
It always is a little bit. But see, this is why people watch us. This is why we now have 500 subscribers, Jay. And if you're not subscribed already, then please go subscribe, because we're at 505 right now, which is really good. So if you could go subscribe, that would be wonderful. See, this is the kind of slick stuff you get when you subscribe to us and watch all of our shows. Look at this, basically professional operation. And I've forgotten what my point was, so that's great. Oh shit. We give no two-sided ways of doing everything. We look at both sides equally and make our judgments based on that. We're not the shouty TV stuff. But
well,
yeah,
I think
it
it's a
probably is
lot
a bit
because the Jets defense is nasty.
Yeah, the Jets defense is unbelievable, and that is the side of the Eagles that is faltering, as well as the offensive side of the ball. And their defense can still be passed on. Like, it's kind of calmed down in the past 2 weeks, but they can definitely still be passed on. Breece Hall looks nasty at points, but how is he going to go against those Eagles defensive linemen?
I have him on one of my other fantasy teams, and I went back and forth if I was playing him. I did play him, but I went back and forth.
I think you've kind of got to play him for the big strike ability. If he breaks one tackle, then it looks like he could go to the end zone on pretty much every play from there. Give me the Eagles at 7 points, because I just don't think the Jets get any run game going, and I still don't think their offensive line is able to cope to keep Zach Wilson upright enough to make use of what their defense are going to do for them.
And everybody's acting like Zach Wilson's now the man, so we'll see if he can keep a string of good plays and playing well going. I hope the best for the kid. And I think if he starts playing great, it'll make it really weird when Rodgers comes back next year.
Yeah, I mean, you still play Rodgers. There's no way that Zach Wilson's
right, but it still makes it weird because now you got to get rid of Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Well, you finally have some trade value for Zach Wilson is another way to look at it. But how weird would it be if the Jets got to 500 after their start to the season? How strange would it be if they got to 500?
Over under is 42.5 on this game, so they don't expect a high scoring game.
Yeah, neither do I. I think that's probably about right. Maybe the under. I wouldn't bet on that. Leaning towards the under.
Yeah, that's rough. I'd probably go with the over and wouldn't feel good about it.
Yeah. Who are you taking in that game?
Oh, I'm taking the Eagles -7.
Yeah. I just don't think the Jets score enough points in that game.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles win by 20.
Yeah, exactly. I also I wouldn't be surprised if it's relatively close, but within 7, the Eagles have played badly. Or Zach Wilson's played really, really well.
All right. Well, I just watched Lamar do the most Lamar thing, but I think it's coming back with a flag.
Classic.
All right. We got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams at home, 7-point favorites.
I think the Rams have just looked really good this season. I think I personally forgot how good of a coach Sean McVay was, and I keep saying it. Sean McVay looks like a great coach in the NFL. Cooper Kupp is back. Give me the Rams in this game.
Yeah, I definitely would take the Rams. Well, we just picked up a subscriber. Well, you said we had 505, Maddie, just to put that out there. So whoever that subscriber was, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Um,
Oh my God. The England cricket team have just lost against Afghanistan. I know that doesn't really mean much to you, but the fact that Afghanistan are beating England in any sport clearly shows that it's not good.
I like the Rams. Give me the Rams -7 also. Yeah. Cooper Kupp's back. They got a good receiving core. Their running game's decent, and their defense has been playing better than I thought they would.
And
Arizona's been playing better than I thought they would,
yeah.
but I always feel like Arizona's this bubble that could burst at any given moment, and they're going to turn back into as bad as everybody thinks they should be.
It's not to shit on the Cardinals. It's more the Rams the Rams look like they'll beat the teams that they're supposed to beat, but look like they don't quite have enough, largely because of their offensive line, to beat teams that are better than them. And that's the way it looks. They look like a well-coached team with a veteran quarterback, two excellent wide receivers, and Tutu Atwell as a deep threat as well. Kyron Williams has come out of nowhere and looked excellent at running back. They're just a really well-constructed team, and considering they look like they were completely fire selling in the off season, they still look great, and they've still got Aaron Donald on the defensive line as well. The Cardinals look really good at points considering their roster, but it's in their interest to keep playing this well and losing games. That's where the Cardinals are at.
So you taking the Rams -7 also?
Yeah. Rams -7.
Yeah, because I feel like at any given moment, Dobbs could turn back into a pumpkin.
I'm not sure I've seen a game where Dobbs has been a pumpkin. I just think
he had a game where they won,
and
he's had games where he throws for like 160 yards and they win.
He could go back to looking like Josh Dobbs and not fucking Superman at points. Like Josh Dobbs, like sometimes looks like at points this season, he looks like he can just put on a cape and just run through a fucking wall. Like there's no way that Josh Dobbs should be able to scramble for first downs going through linebacker tackles.
No, and I think
Sean McVay
as the coach and their defensive coordinator are not going to let him run around like a madman back there. Or like, you got to play him almost like you play Lamar. You can't let him get outside. You got to keep the edges. I think they'll do that. Yeah. They can get a lot of push up the middle with Aaron Donald, and the push up the middle always fucks up a running quarterback.
Yeah, and it's just Aaron Donald is elite as well. The Rams are looking like a good team.
Do you believe Aaron Donald is the best D tackle in the NFL right now?
It's either him or Chris Jones.
I was going to say, to me, it's Chris Jones. Donald. It's Chris Jones. It's not the slight Aaron Donald, but I think this is the first time in a lot of years where we're not saying Aaron Donald is the best defensive tackle in football.
Yeah, I think I fall on the side of Aaron Donald but Chris Jones is a very close second, 1A and 1B.
You went with really Jones is leading a lot of the all defensive linemen in sacks right now. Not the overall, but he's beating a lot of them from the D tackle position.
Yeah, I think throughout his career, maybe not throughout his career, just maybe the past couple of years, Jones has had also more help than Donald. Like on the outside, you have to account for the outside of the Chiefs more than you do the Rams at the moment.
Sorry, I was just watching
what's happening in the game.
So it's fourth and less than 1. Lamar's in shotgun, and Andrews runs up behind and tries to sneak the ball, and now they're seeing if he made it. I don't think he did, but they gave him a pretty good spot, so he might be getting that first down.
Hopefully. A trade in league has been accepted.
I don't want him to get a first down just because I want
it keeps the game more exciting.
Well, no, I want Derrick Henry back on the field with 4 minutes left. That's all.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. How many points has Andrew's got in fantasy from this game? Let's have a quick look.
No idea.
10.9.
Yeah, and Derrick
10.9.
Henry should be somewhere
do me.
over 15 right now, but I haven't looked in a minute.
Yeah. I'm already a 75% win probability against the Canadian. He's had 3 players play and currently has 9.5 points.
Let's announce it right now, you guys. The next game is my upset pick of the week. And we're going into the Detroit Lions heading to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Lions are a 3-point favorite on the road. The Bucs are going to win this game. Baker Mayfield's going to have a game. Bucs +3. Give it to me. Lock it. That's my upset pick of the week.
Okay, you're going to have to give more info than you're going to have to say why.
Todd Bowles' defense, Baker Mayfield, the receiving core for the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers is loaded. The offensive line has been playing better. They're moving the line. And Todd Bowles doesn't say, yeah, man, after everything he says. So Tampa Bay wins.
I do not hate this as an upset pick of the week. I think the Detroit Lions are always good for shit in the bed. However, again, I think that the Detroit Lions play really solid football. I think they may be the 4th best team in the NFC at this moment in time with the way that they play the ball. Jared Goff is not throwing the ball away, and he's dissecting defenses. He likes the way that this offense plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown is back. The Bucs have surprised a lot of people with how good they've looked so far this season. But for me, they have way more talent. The Detroit Lions have more talent in key positions apart from wide receiver. Well, so give me the Lions.
To quote Payne Gusto, let those cannons go. He's a Bucs fan. That's all I ever hear is let those cannons go.
That's crazy. I didn't know that Bucs fans still existed. I thought they kind of came with Tom Brady and left as he
was a Bucs fan way before Tom Brady, so he'll be there after. And you know you're a true Bucs fan when you live in New Jersey and you're from New York and you're still a Bucs fan.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Just saying. That is pretty strange. Just while we're on the topic of the Bucs, is Rob Gronkowski coming back, or have I just read that somewhere crazy?
I didn't hear nothing about it.
I've been reading that Rob Gronkowski's coming back. I've been reading that Rob Gronkowski's coming back for the Dolphins, but I think he said it would be pretty cool to play for the Dolphins.
I think Tampa still owns his rights, so they would have to trade for him.
Yeah, they would definitely have to trade for him.
So you taking
he's
the
just
Lions
been saying that he wants to play. I'm taking the Lions in that game. Sorry, he's just been saying that he would like to play for the Dolphins if he was to come back. Give me the Lions in that game. They're a more well-rounded team.
I feel like the over-under sits better in my favor because Vegas thinks it's only 43.5, which means it's low scoring, which again makes it a better game for the Bucs.
Yeah, definitely. In a low-scoring game, the Bucs probably take it for me.
The Bucs have a pretty good secondary too, so Jared Goff might be throwing some early presents to those DBs.
Who's better, Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield?
Probably Goff.
Yeah, probably just quite similar.
I'd take Goff over Baker if I had to start a team with either of the two.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Goff is a more level-headed quarterback. The kind of quarterback you want if you're assembling a star team around him, it would be Goff. But for a fly-in onto my team with a totally shit show of an offensive line and no wide receivers, give me Baker.
All right. Well, tonight's game has a pretty big point spread. That's the Giants at the Bills. The Bills are favored by 15.
That's insane. That's insane. The Bills lost to the Jets in the same game where they lost Aaron Rodgers within fucking 3 plays because Josh Allen throws the ball away. So the Giants are terrible. The Giants can't keep Daniel Jones upright. They're probably the worst team in the NFL at the moment. Their quarterback is getting absolutely beat to shit. They've had the most sacks in the NFL against them. They are terrible. Like, the Bills are going to win this game. You would be silly to not say that. But do you really think that Josh Allen doesn't have the potential to just throw this game away from trying to do too much?
If they weren't playing the Giants and if they weren't coming off the game they just came off of, yes.
Yeah, that's the other point, isn't it? Like, the other point is he's just come off a loss and he's usually a lot better off a loss. I don't see the 15. I don't see the logic in giving it 15.
So you're taking the Giants?
I guess I'm going to have to take the Giants.
Give me the Bills minus 15. The Giants are that bad.
Yeah, the Giants are terrible. I just yeah.
I think they're going to be angry, and they're playing at home, and Diggs always falls out at home.
I wouldn't touch this game betting it.
No, but that's what we do. We pick every game. So give me the Bills minus 15.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Give me the Giants minus 15. Give me the Giants at plus 15.
Yours might be the safer bet, actually, but I
hate that.
Well, Maddie, let's move on to Monday
what point
night.
Spread? Sorry. So what point spread do you feel comfortable in that game? Just really quickly.
I mean, where I'd be excited to bet it, 10.
10, yeah, 10. That's where I was as well. I'd maybe go up to like 12.
Well, your Cowboys on the road at the Chargers are only favored by 2.
Give me the Chargers.
Is this Maddie's reverse psychology? Is that what we're going with? And
I don't believe in fate like that. If it does help, then that would be great. But I think that the Cowboys in the implosion. I think the Chargers are an excellent team. They just have a shitty coach, but I think the Cowboys will be really hurting off that loss. I heard a fucking crazy stat that since, like, I think for the past, it's something like the past 2 seasons, like, after facing the 49ers, teams have only won 3 games, something like that, the next week after losing against the 49ers. It's a crazy stat.
And we're not very good. We lost a subscriber in the mix of this.
Oh, good. Wonderful. He was clearly a Cowboys fan. They, as long as it doesn't go below 500 right now, then we're all good.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're coming off a really humiliating loss, and I do think the loss of Trayvon Diggs is a big deal. If Denver are wanting to trade Patrick Surtain for a first-round pick, I'd have him.
All right, well, I'm taking the Cowboys and Micah Parsons with 3+ sacks in the game.
Gimme. I would love that. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love that. This way, I'm a winner either way. I think that's why I might be taking this.
Yeah, because I definitely got to go with the Cowboys in this. I just don't have any faith in the Chargers. And
Austin Eckler's back. Does that change anything?
No, because that fucking defense is going to eat him up.
Yeah, they can be run against, this defense. They've had two seasons now where it's just if you run it at Micah Parsons.
How many carries you giving a running back after missing that many games?
That's a fair point. Especially against this defense as well, who, like, all right, they may not play fucking amazing, but you can't say they don't hit hard.
Well, there you have it. We went through all the games, Maddie.
Yeah, we got. This is getting shorter as the bye weeks are going on.
Well, yeah, there's less games because I think there's 14 games this week instead of 16. And yeah.
This is a good time. See, now we can post this on Instagram where we have 50,000 followers. So if you want to go follow us on Instagram, go follow us there. If you've not subscribed already, subscribe to us right here. That's all you got to do to help us two out and make us be able to create this
And
content
now we no
all the
longer
time.
can put it on Instagram.
Well, yeah, we can. Just cut 7 seconds off. 12, 13, 14,
Yeah.
15.
But Malik Willis looks good, then gets sacked for a loss. Does something good, then gets sacked for a loss. And then he just throws a screen that they break like 15 tackles and make it down to the 4.
Classic Malik Willis.
Yeah,
That's
they're
why he's
down
a
by
fascinating
11 though,
guy.
with a minute 40 left. So
Oh, yeah, the Titans aren't winning from behind in the fourth quarter. That's just not the game that they play. If they're behind going into the fourth
to even
quarter,
have
I'm
a
not backing them at all.
chance, they have to score this touchdown and recover an onside kick, which the NFL now has made it impossible to do onside kicks with their stupid rule changes.
Yeah. God, player safety just gets in the way. It's like player safety, but we won't force the owners to spend hundreds of like millions of dollars on new pitches.
You really take away the chance of a team coming back from something like this because the onside kick is impossible.
Yeah. Tyler Spears.
And now they're talking about next
Spears.
year maybe going to one play for 15 yards, and if you pick that up, it's a first down for your team, and you get to keep the ball instead of an onside kick, which seems very Mickey Mouse to me.
Oh, it's a bit too far the other way there, isn't it? Like 15 yards. You should back your offense to be able to pick up 15 yards in a must-do situation. Whereas an onside kick has always been quite irregular.
Yeah, Willis cannot read the defense at all. He's running for his fucking life. But there was defensive holding, so that's going to move him halfway up. Interesting game.
What's Tajay Spears' receiving stats in this game? Overview. Oh, 1 reception for 48 yards. So Tajay Spears has more fantasy points than DeAndre Hopkins in this game.
Willis back-to-back sacks, even though the last one was called back on a penalty. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll be back again. So make sure you tune in. Follow us for more point spreads. Hopefully you all kill it on your picks if you're gambling on the games. I hope you all win lots of money.
God, all right. I hope people don't listen to me when they're gambling. That makes me feel weird.
I hope you all listen to me, and if you're doing well, I gladly accept tips. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.